Welcome to A Sweet Savor Bible School. Thank you for watching. My name is James Reinarz, and this is a clip from a Zoom class I taught recently on the history of Christian hymns, with a focus on singing devotionally. There were several parts to the class, but these clips are just of the lecture portion. More information can be found in the description. Now to our topic. So we're doing something a little different today. We're going to look at people who brought amazing hymns to us because they translated them or adapted them. They weren't the original writer, but we have just some precious gems because somebody else brought them to us, either brought them into English or brought them from poetry, added a hymn, made them something that we can partake of. And as I was studying just different nuggets of history for this class, I kept on picking up again and again and again. This person did something that popped up here and then popped up there and then popped up there. And then this kind of, for me, a picture came together of something I'm really inspired by. So we will look at John Wesley, William Cowper from last week, and someone we haven't touched yet. Actually, we're dipping into next semester. This is a sister from the Plymouth Brethren movement. Her name is Frances Bevan. Bevan. She did a lot of great translating for us. So we're just kind of taking figures from around history, bringing them together to look at this one thing. They studied the writings of brothers and sisters who have gone before us in Christ and brought them to us in hymns today. Okay, so first, we're going to look at some hymns from Sister Madame Jeanne Guyon. If you do not know about her, I am not going to get into her history a lot right now. That's for maybe the third semester of this class. We'll go back to France, 1600s. We've mostly been following England from the 1700s on. But Madame Guyon, her writings are excellent, awesome. She was a French sister who in the Catholic Church had a real spiritual awakening with God that led her to write and help and shepherd people into a genuine experience of Christ out of all the formalism of her day. And for her, things we might call like evangelical or just genuinely born again today, because of those things, she was put in prison. She wrote a short book called Short and Easy Method of Prayer. And that book, trying to help people pray, landed her in jail. She was in the famous Bastille in France. And there she wrote even more poetry about how she's locked away in prison, but actually she's free in Christ. And her writings to this day are just super awesome. So one thing about that, here's one. I was reading a book a year ago or something called From the Letters of Jeanne Guyon. It's a collection, somebody curated a collection of letters from Madame Guyon. And the very last item in the book is this long poem. So this is a bit of an Easter egg for those of us who may be more familiar with the hymnal, more familiar with Madame Guyon, and specifically the two hymns of Madame Guyon that are in Songs and Hymns of Life. If you're new, you'll pick this up, but this is kind of an Easter egg for those of us. I'd like to read this quickly. Can we just read the whole thing? Eric, can you just direct traffic with that? I can't see the whole group. Just one person that stands out. Let's go real fast because we're going to get a couple things out of this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this all one poem that she wrote? Like all of these are connected?
Yes. I'll talk more about the uncertainty of the sources cited, but in the book that I read, this was one poem. The title is God Everywhere to the Soul That Loves Him.
Okay.
So did you get the Easter egg? Did you recognize anything? Yeah, these last two verses are hymn 213 in our hymnal, one of my favorite hymns. So I surprised when I was reading, there's a couple poetry. Actually, the other Madame Guyon song in the hymnal is the previous poem in this book, but these first 8 verses I had never read before. And then suddenly, I love my Lord, but with no love of mine. I know those words. And actually this is William Cowper's translation of Madame Guyon's French poetry. And I'm not clear if he mashed these together or if this was all together. We may dig into that later. But somebody took it and turned the last 2 verses on their own into a song. The question is good because if you look at the first ones, these are 8, 8, 8, 8. If you look at the meter, and then suddenly we're what is this, 10-6, 10-6, I forget. It's a very different meter, right? These last two verses. So they could be matched. Maybe Madame Guyon wanted to end in a different way. But somebody pulled them out and made an awesome hymn out of it. So you can see these are the two verses. Now I would like to sing this. So I have the verses here for anybody who does not have the hymnal in front of them. If you do have it, I encourage you to open up to 213. Instead of singing in our breakout groups in the middle of our class, let's just sing right now. This is such an excellent song. I think this is a prime example of all that we want to talk about today. What a great hymn. This is, again, our homework for the week, but what a worthy song to memorize. There's been times where I find myself just singing one line again and again. Our source, our center, and our dwelling place. Or the fountain of life verse or something. It would be just 6-10 syllables repeating through me again and again and again. And it's so great just to dwell on these kind of thoughts. And that's what's really special in this hymn. And we wouldn't have it except for two people. William Cowper, who translated it into English, and whoever else pulled it out of the bigger poem, set it to an adapted version of E. Burgess's tune, because I don't know how many 10-6, 10-6, 10-10 tunes there are out there. But we have something that's really a gem, really special. And that's one more thing about this is we go back to this whole big song. Again, this is William Cowper's translation, "O Thou by Long Experience Tried." Someone else worked with this part and made it in this first part and made it into a hymn. Now this hymn is not in Songs and Hymns of Life, but kind of a similar or a sister hymnal called Christ in Song has this. But look at whoever worked with this, and I'm unclear if it's William Cowper himself or someone later. Here's the original poem on the left, right? "O Thou by Long Experience Tried." And then here is verse 1 of this hymn in this hymnal. "My Lord, how full of sweet content I pass my years of banishment. Where'er I dwell with thee, in heaven, in earth, or on the sea." Is this similar than the original poem? Different? What's going on here? One's only 4 lines, the other one's 8 lines, right? So someone worked with it. It's not that the whole thing was terrible, but what they were enjoying of Madame Guyon's poem, they worked with it to put it into some kind of thing that could be a song, right? In our day, we tend to be purists, where however that genius person who wrote it, that's how it should always be and never be touched. And we often view the music that goes along with hymns the same kind of way, but actually hymns and church music has a huge and long history of always being tweaked, always being changed. This is an example where even the words of someone who we know wrote great content, somebody still felt free to work with it. And even the hymn tunes, I was reading one book and it just was commenting on how famous, we studied Amazing Grace with John Newton last week. And they just made the comment, when somebody said it to an American hymn tune, it really took off and became really famous. But if John Newton had heard it, he would barely recognize it. So we associate a tune with the words very closely, but actually that tune may have been printed with a dozen different lyrics beforehand, right? So this is just one example of not the purest form, but somebody working with something and bringing it to us in a way that is so helpful. So that's just from one poem, again, translated by William Cowper and then published in this Letters of Jeanne Guyon book. Someone made 2 songs out of it, or maybe 2 people made 1 song each, right? I don't know. Well, that's the end of our section. You can learn more about a Sweet Savor Bible School on our website, link in the description. There you can find course descriptions and find out how you can join the next class. And for now, I'll say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. May Jesus bless you, and may we become a savor that is pleasing to our God.